Hello? Oh. Hello? Iridium, okay. Is it working now, guys? I really hope so. Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2. Ah, thank you, PT. Best show ever because I can't talk. I know.
Not, bro.
Still not. Because it's showing it's working here by me. Working, okay, they say it's working. Okay, thank you guys. Sorry about that. I don't know. OBS just likes to change its settings for some odd reason. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Really, really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you, Michael Kahn, for being in the Discord chat ready to chat a bit. And yeah, so let's get it off. Thank you all my Patreon supporters for supporting me. You guys are awesome. And all the people that have been sending super chats. It is really helping. If you haven't already, just please do hit that like button and share the show, as it does get it to more people, so we can have more diverse panels, so we can chat more diversely about things. So thank you all for being here. Thanks, Jeff. Hi, Jeff, for being here. Hi, PT. Hi, Reno. And M Stone, good to see you. Who else is here? Hi, Michael Kahn and Jess Palmer. Thank you for being here. Okay. It's okay, the topic of shape of the earth is pretty silly, so being muted wasn't all that big of a deal. Yeah, I mean, it's quite sad when the people think flat is a shape though. We're just trying to point out that it's a horizontal plane with topography. As simple as that. Yes, we get labeled flat earthers, which is fine. It's just the problem when they try to push us with the flat earth society narrative. Yeah, because we can all agree, well, let's see what the poll says. Is the push FE narrative correct? 29% says yes, and 71% says no. Obviously, I'm going to say no, because we are definitely not a flying pizza in space, as the globe likes to strawman us with. Will Gaston, Nathan Oakley equals Jerry Springer of FE, which is actually very true. Yeah, he doesn't really give them the chance to actually talk back, because he just cuts them off at the roots. But I mean, that's expected after years and years of being in the debates and not having any respect by the guys. So when you get to a point where you're just like fed up with them, you just cut them off at the ankles and say enough is enough. So I 100% agree where Nathan has gone with this, with his tactic to get his point across. Well, it's a waste of time if the Earth is actually a globe. I just don't see the point. Yeah, if it was a globe, we wouldn't be any flat earthers, would there, Reno? But unfortunately, you guys are having more and more of us to deal with on a daily basis. So obviously, there's something wrong with you guys. Globe. There's just too much holes. But yeah, tonight's show is not about the globe. Tonight's show is about the flat earth and the narrative pushed. So, what is the narrative pushed today, guys? Very simple. The narrative pushed today is that we live on a pizza in space, or a flying pancake in space. And it's actually very sad that people would actually go and take this gobbledygook up with these people saying this. I mean, if you go and type in flat earth on YouTube, what's everything you're getting? They're making fun of it and saying things like, oh, these guys are a joke, and an astronomer's response to flat earth theory. But look what the astronomers responding to people. This is just idiotic. It's not what the flat earth is. It's just like Professor Dave. I mean, did you see how derogative he was against David? He was, from the get-go, he was just having straw man and red herring fallacies and just talking down on him like he's a piece of rubbish. Is that the kind of, is that what you guys want to portray of defending your globe? Is to try and look down on a person because they don't have the same belief system as you? To me, that's really wrong. I mean, people just make fun of it all the time, and the problem is the people that make fun of it are the ones that are either dishonest and know they're pushing a straw man argument of the FE, or they are just, yeah, don't actually know the arguments. It's just very, very simple. Like I said, it's Discord Wednesday, so you guys can come in and talk if you want to. So Michael, what do you have to say about the whole situation? I think Michael is sitting in YouTube, so he's not really hearing me.
So now I'm muted. I forgot to mute my mic. Yeah, totally. After years of being in this debate, you get sick of trolls. So yeah, I agree. How Nathan deals with him.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. I mean, like I was just showing on when you go and just type flat Earth in YouTube, what comes up? All they do is just make fun of flat earthers because no one believes in their religion. And yes, heliocentrism is a religion, guys. It's called sun worship, Helios, the sun god, center. So it's very, very, how can I put it, telling when you guys come on flat earth channels and start trolling because someone doesn't believe your religion. Okay. Hi Katie Quirk, good to see you. Jeff, if I haven't said hello, I think I have already. Good to see you. Katie Quirk, what shape do you think the Earth is flat? So it hasn't got a shape. Flat is not a shape, Katie. The thing is, it's a horizontal plane with topography. That's why everything based on measurements are done with horizontal planes. Very, very simple things. I'm more than happy to be labeled a flat earther, just like all the other flat earthers, because it means if it's not a globe, it has to be flat. So we're saying flat, because flat is not a shape. Hold on, why am I ghosted on your channel now? Okay, on 3 different names starting with Dan the Waterman, Flat Earth Hollywood Live, and personal account. This is Bob Nadal's doing. He wants me gone. Hold on, why am I ghosted on your channel now? I have no idea who you are, but I know Flat Earth, Dan the Flat Earth Man is definitely not Bob. He's on Geos a lot and he has quite awesome arguments. Cody Quirk. No, heliocentrism just means sun-centered, nothing to do with religion. Okay, let's go and show this. Heliocentrism. Heliocentrism, a cosmological model in which the sun is assumed to lie at or near the central point, the solar system of the universe, while the earth and other bodies revolve around it. So the sun is the middle. Let's see if we start with religion. Oh, look at, there we go, it picks it up. Heliocentric religion. Related subjects, religious disputes, space, astronomy. In astronomy, heliocentrism is the belief. Remember, heliocentrism is the belief that the sun is the center of the universe and or the solar system. The word derived from the Greek helios, sun, and ketron, center. Who's Helios? Helios. Helios, God, because it's actually Helios, yeah. The ancient Greek religion. See Helios? The ancient Greek religion and mythology, Helios, ancient Greek, pronounced a god and personification of the sun, a solar deity. His name is also known as Latinized as the Helios, and is often given the epithet Hyperion. Yeah, whatever. So, when you guys tell us heliocentrism is not sun worship, please just go and look at your own religion, because that's exactly what it is. Helios religion, heliocentrism. It's sun worship. See? Sun worship, the sun god. Helios, the solar god. Helios. Can I make it more clear for you guys? Okay, the sun was named after the god. Doesn't mean that... No, actually, Katie, the name of the sun was there before. Yeah, the sun...
That's right.
Yes.
Showing pictures of Apollo and our Statue of Liberty looks same as Apollo, and Apollo's Helio and Mithraism, and
Apollo
it goes
and
back
Abaddon.
years.
Apollo and Abaddon, it's demons. If you guys know any about your Christian theology, you will know Apollo and Abaddon is a demon, and it comes from the Greek Latin word from Helios. Exactly. And where did the demons come from according to the Bible? From the sky. They fell from the sky. Weird. Just a coincidence, I wonder. Yes, really, Katie. Let's see what Katie says. The sun was named after a god. Doesn't mean that you believe in the god you do. No, Katie, that's exactly what it means. You are fighting someone else that doesn't have the same belief as you. So you are inherently fighting for your religion. You're trying to convert someone that doesn't have your belief to your belief system. Hence why you are on a flat earth channel now, spewing your preachers of heliocentrism.
Katie's a sock. Probably Sean.
I wouldn't be surprised. They're on the same kind of IQ wavelength.
In the same rubbish, I'm gonna time him out.
You never know. I never knew there was an FE narrative, John Watson. Good to see you, John Watson. Good to see you. Yeah, there's the push narrative is the Flat Earth Society narrative. I actually did a video just with like the top 10 misconceptions of Flat Earth a while back. So I was thinking maybe we can just go through it a bit. It is 21 minutes long, so I'm not going to just play the whole thing and whatever. Do you want to go through it a bit, Michael? We can chat about it together. Okay, I'm going to play it.
Sorry, bro, I keep forgetting I'm muted.
Okay, so
I keep forgetting I'm muted, man.
No worries, dude.
If I don't keep muted, you're going to get noise from our last, that's trouble.
Oh, then it echoes, yeah. But don't worry, I'll pause it after every point and we can go talk through it together and stuff. Is that fine with you? Okay. So have I been timed out? No, Katie, you're still commenting. You definitely are not timed out. Michael, do you agree with that narrative that was pushed in number 10?
What, floating pizza?
Yeah, the floating pizza in space.
No, because there's no such thing as space.
Exactly. Weird how they can tell us we believe in a floating pizza when we're saying space is fake, it doesn't exist. I mean, do they actually have the mental ability to understand that alone debunks their argument?
Going back a few years, I used to be in, I just thought it was a flat earth group on Facebook, but I later found out it was Flat Earth Society. I ended up getting kicked out in it for talking truth.
Yeah, Flat Earth Society is just controlled opposition, exactly. Hi Lumpy Gas in a Vacuum. Hey JJ, good to see you guys. Yeah, because I mean, think about it. If Flat Earth was such a joke in the first instance, why do they have to go out their way to actually discredit us and make us look dumb and uneducated kind of people? You understand? Why? If you have some kind of, this is the tactic that you have at like a school bully at a school, you could say. They're going to act all tough and stuff, and if they feel threatened by that person they're bullying, that's the reason why they're bullying. They feel threatened by them because there's something that they cannot get from them. You understand? So this is the same why the globe comes and tries to bully the flat Earth.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, see, do you know what gets me, Flat Side, right? I don't go to Sean's channel and I'm not in his chat. I don't go to Fight the Flat Earth channel. I don't go in his chat. I don't go to Toon's chat because I don't believe in Globe. It's a load of rubbish. Why would I waste my time going there? I don't understand why Globe believers come to Flat Earth. Crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
we're all stupid. Why are you here?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why you're here. You're here to troll, and that's all.
Exactly. Hey, Rob King, good to see you now. 100% agree. We were once Globe believers. But once you find out the Globe is false and you're lied to, you actually start to do your own research. That's what the honest person does. And because we're honest, we moved on to better things and we figured out, hey, there's actually nothing of the Globe that is true. So we would be lying to ourselves to try and go back to the Globe. As easy as that. The Globe is just a cult. It's a consensus cult. Let's put it that way. Just because it's the pushed narrative that's consensus accepted doesn't make it truth. It just means it's a very large cult.
But biggest part of the trick is it's taught. So everybody thinks because it's taught, then that it's true. But that's not the case when you start looking into it.
Yeah, that's the magic trick. I mean, you get brought up thinking, this is that how it's taught. Because my teacher taught me, why would they lie to me? The teacher is having the curriculum in front of them. They actually got no choice on what they're teaching. They have to teach what is taught. I mean, how much teachers even try to go against evolution and they get fired because they go against evolution? Hey Dan the Waterman, good to see you. But yeah, I mean, it's very sad you get the guys trying to come and discredit.
That's right. I think Dan the Waterman thinks that he's getting hidden on here by Bob or something.
No, I can see him. He is, yeah. Dan the Waterman, you can actually come and chat if you want to in Discord, dude. I would like to talk about your argument with the sun and the horizon that Ruhuf couldn't understand. It was quite a good argument. I really did like it. Okay. So Dan, you in my server, right, on Discord? If you want, you can come and chat. I mean, I think it'll be interesting if we can try and explain to them what you're trying to explain to the roof and the horizon, because I think it was actually a very good argument. So once again, thank you everybody for coming. Really do appreciate your support. 20 people in, and I don't think we even have 20 likes. So please just hit that like button. It does push the algorithm out further to more people. This is an appeal that I'm asking all the flat earthers in the chat, and actually everybody, even the honest. I'm getting really fed up with the troll accounts, the soccer accounts. So I'm starting to ban them. Do you agree that it's a good move to do, to just get rid of them all so they can stop harassing us all, or should I just keep them and make fun of them as we do?
I've banned loads, me. I ain't got time for them. I can't be doing them.
The sad thing
you
is...
deal with another pops up saying the exact same thing, so you know it's the same person.
Yeah. The problem is, as soon as I ban the one, he comes back with another 2 accounts, and then you ban them, they come back with another 4 accounts.
Exactly. I think there's like some website or computer programs that just mix up thousands of fake accounts. Right? There's got to be something like it.
Yeah.
It's a clever tactic, really. Like, it makes it look like there's loads of people saying you're wrong and stuff like that, but they're not.
Yeah.
Just saying usual suspects, mainly Sean.
Yeah, I think he's one of the main proprietors of the stock accounts. Hey 10th man, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Exactly, 10th man. The magic trick is a radius value that is not observed or navigated. Exactly, they have to use a horizontal baseline with triangles, flat triangles, okay, not spherical triangles. Then they have to use their belief and put it in afterwards. Very, very simple. 10 says get rid of the troll accounts. 100% agree. No, KT, there's a difference between a troll and a glober.
It's like what I was saying to you earlier, Flat, like when I was looking through your comments, and there's soccer accounts that I know are soccer accounts, and there's like 50 replies to them. Do you know what I mean? It's like all that time you've wasted arguing with somebody who's not even a real person.
Yeah.
You're never going to win because they can just say what they want. They don't look stupid because they're not real. Yeah, that's why they do it.
That's why they all hold each other's hand in the threads the whole time. I mean, like today, I had Professor Phil Bell going, and he kept on spamming my threads with different, like 10 different spamming threads. I just said, do you have to really spam every 2 minutes on another thread? And he says, no, he's just taking, yeah.
I've still got 2 unanswered questions from him.
We've got a lot of unanswered questions. I'm still waiting for him to demonstrate to me gas pressure can be affected by gravity.
I've got enough screenshots of comments of Phil Bell that could get him sacked. Not that I'd do all like that, but you know what I mean? If I showed that to wherever he works and said, this is your physics professor, look, he's in these charts, look what he's saying, they'd sack him.
Yeah. I mean, he's ignoring so much.
Has anybody even seen his, like, whether he's a professor or not? I know he claims he is, like, but I've not seen no proof.
No, just because
he demands questions off me and you all the time, but he ought to be providing proof that he's a professor first before we even start entertaining an argument, you know what I mean?
Dan the Waterman says he can't get in. Can we send the chat for the Discord to Dan again? Maybe can see if it's going to work.
Is he already in?
No, he's in the YouTube chat. He says he can't get in. Maybe just send the Discord link to him, invite. Or must I send it? I'll quickly try. Hey Dan the Waterman. I'm going to try and see if I can send it to him quickly.
I've just posted one in chat.
Ah, thanks. Okay, Dan, it's in the chat for you. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. So yeah, hey, Globe Annihilation, good to see you.
Globe Annihilation, don't trust the bow tie, guys.
Yeah. What I was trying to say, I can't remember. Sorry, I'm on some hectic medication. Well, I'm taking this other thing because I got quite a sore in my stomach, and so I'm sitting with a hot water bottle just to get the swelling down. So it's quite difficult to concentrate. Actually, yes, last night as well, it was quite hectic.
Why, what you done?
No, it's like I don't know what the name is, but it's caused like an abscess.
Hernia.
So it's trying to go, but my whole stomach goes in like spasm and stuff. I can't really move.
It's not an hernia, is it?
No, it's not an hernia, it's on the outside. I don't know what we call it in English, but in Afrikaans it's called a pitspeer, but it's turned into abscess.
Might be a globe growing in your belly.
Yeah, it is spherical, so therefore gravity. Yeah. X marks the spot. Oh, it's good to see everybody. Yeah, I'd wonder if Dan's going to be able to get in though. It would be great.
Yeah, they're saying in chat that Phil Bell's got loads of patience. I'm telling you now, I've got more patience than Phil Bell because stuff that comes out in his mouth is ridiculous.
He says he can't get in. It doesn't give him permission to come in. And it's actually sad because I had the same problem with the previous people. It won't let them get in. So I had to change my permission status on my Discord. And when I changed it, then it could let some in, but there's still people that just won't let them come in. Must I change the strictness to much less? And then it's just, I don't know. I don't really like... It makes it very difficult. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to quickly get this set up on Discord for him. Where is it now? I usually do it on my phone, so now it's different on... This doesn't make sense. Server settings. Privacy settings there. I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to get the... More messages. You don't know how to change the strictness on the server rules, do you? To get the people to join.
Can I just say, Reno, right? If it's so ludicrous and so silly,
Yeah.
why are you here, mate? Why are you in chat?
Exactly.
Perfect, pal.
Okay, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna say try it now. I just gave him some roles. Maybe that will help it to come in. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the guys just come in here and they just want to spew nonsense in the chat. And how much of these people have I invited to actually come and talk to us? And instead they got excuses not to. Hey Dan the Waterman, good to see you. Glad you could make it. I thought this was chat was going about misconception. Yes, Katie, this is still about misconception.
I'm just going to start timing them out for you, because I can't be doing with trying to talk to you and listen to what you're presenting and these keep banging on in chat. It's ridiculous.
100%. No, 100%, dude. Really do appreciate
it's an echo chamber. It's an echo chamber. Is that all you've got? How about some globe proof? Get in Discord. Let's have some globe proof. Come on.
It is Discord Wednesday. You guys are invited to come and talk, Katie. I have invited you before. What? Push SC is exactly what. Good to see you. The push narrative is we live on a flying pizza in space. And I guess we can all agree that is just a false narrative pushed by the controlled opposition. Yeah, Wikipedia sends the cyber goblins and have for 3 years for me, exactly. And I mean, I've been seeing the longer you stay in, the more of the trolls attend. People don't want to talk about Effie. It's a silly topic. Yet, Reno, you are in here on a live stream talking on a flat earth channel. No one wants to talk about it. You don't take it seriously, but you are here.
Yeah, and that is in timeout.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Just in timeout.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain this guy's name. Winsentum E777. Then I voted wrong. maybe I didn't specify the vote correctly.
I voted wrong yesterday.
Well, now you know why I'm selling the hate merchandise. You know, that's really what they want from us, is to hate us, and it's hidden love. It's a love-hate scenario.
Exactly, Dan. 100%.
How's it going, Dan? You all right?
I'm on a real high right now because I came up with a bit of content, so it now gave me an incentive to literally just call them out on who they are. I found, just the realization that the opposition that we have online has been the same people for 6 years.
Yeah.
And they're obsessed. And when you just, in the middle of the argument, ask them, why are you here? They will admit that they're here for fun. But they say things about science because they're used to impressing idiots around them. In a bar, in their family. Someone with academia, knows some big words. They're impressive. But that's different than applied. Applied science is where you take that stuff you learn and you go use it. And that's where Ruhif and I had that great conversation, because he told me a lot about academia. But in application, that math didn't apply. It wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe we've overlooked the simplicity of the sunrise and the sunset being a marker. And I demand that they measure that point now.
I 100% agree.
They keep telling us, measure zero, measure flat. What form of zero on a piece of paper at each data point, at each temperature, at each humidity point? How many zeros can I put on paper to impress them on a chart? It's because that's the thing. We're not arguing about, oh, it's this many inches or this many feet or this many miles. It's over with. And I don't know if you know about my future, what I call force the light, is a way of doing the force the line experiment with a virtual light and time lapse. And that's going to kill the refraction issue because it starts in an invisible position on the globe. And, we make this assumption we're seeing line of sight, and they make the assumption that we're not line of sight, that they're seeing a refractive thing. And I'm saying, okay, I don't care as long as we agree we're seeing it. Let's now drag it left to right over 10 miles. And that's the plan, is to do a horizontal line or the lateral line test with a one observation from 10 miles away, and then zoom it in later, look at the pixels and see if we have the pixel strength to show the arc of the Earth, because the math says we can by 16 feet in the center of a 10-mile run. So it starts with fuck you refraction, then the experiment starts, because the refraction story doesn't. We're going to agree that it's visible when the experiment starts. So forget whether or not it's refraction that's allowing me to see it 10 miles away. Now I'm going to ask for the curvature of the Earth. And there's nothing to refract that because it's already out of range of their refraction story, or within range of their refraction story. And the Ruhiv thing was really important psychologically for everyone to note, because the only reason I got there with him is because we weren't fighting. And I'm a good fighter, and you'll hear Bob and I are at war because he wants me dead. And that's why my wrench is gone on your channel. That's why I'm blocked on all those other names. It's Bob. Bob's out to get me because I know FE Core is a joke, and it's been a joke. And it's been a joke from its inception. He won't admit it. He's used it against me. I've gone out and done the work since, and I apologize for bringing it up, but there is a bully and a gatekeeper in your hands, and it's sad. And I'm trying to work without him and without all those people right now because they're all comfortable blocking me. But I'm still kicking ass. Flat Earth still exists, and it's a platform I enjoy. And that Ruhiv thing was just so special. If anyone didn't hear it, look it up. I guess it's on my channel, but it was just fun to hear a baller try and explain. The basic answer is we are expected to work within their numbers and their math, and it's no problem for us to do so. So if we assume that a boat does go out of sight because of the curvature of the Earth, it's really about angles. And poor Ruhiv kept telling me about the distance to the sun, when the distance to the sun, the size of the sun, or the brightness of the sun had nothing to do with anything. It's about when the angle got reduced to zero, and where is that point? And could I drive my boat to that same point because they're expected to be the same point? Yet mathematically they are, and physically they're not. And I think we have a chance of using the word proof on this one, which is so rare to be able to say proof. But the sun does set behind distant objects and rise as well. So everyone can do this. Everyone can see it. That's what brings it home. And if you notice the trick that I used, I keep calling the mathematical sunset McDonald's close to bring it home, bring it out within a range that they have to. Could you imagine if the sun set where they set it, this like giant thing, like,
he said it like
right
20
there.
miles. I think he said it like 20 miles. And then he says, no, but you got the mountains behind it. It's like, do you understand what you just said? It's so simple.
So it's a lot of fun when we're not fighting, and it's actually taken a lot of time to embrace the ballers and what they do have to say, because sometimes they need to set us straight on some things, to tell you the truth. And we're not always right. And my thing with Bob has to do with correcting things that he says and that we say, because they've never been corrected, going back to Eric Dubay. And I'd love to talk to you about that in particular. Eric Dubay's number 15 is a big problem for us. And if we repeat stuff that's wrong, it's usually an honest error. Like railguns, they target straight, flat, but they shoot like regular artillery in an arc. So next thing you know, we're making memes saying, why do they shoot straight? So we confuse things very easily. One of the things I want to look up this week is the claim that we have that there's no vision of the ISS being built. But the ballers say there's hours and hours and hours of it. So I'm just wondering, it is buried in animation and garbage. And the entire space program is buried in animation and garbage, and they love it and they live it. So now I think with the new observations I do, I'm going to hire an artist to paint it like a nice painting like NASA does, so the ballers can understand what we're saying. Because, they say we won't understand, so they paint the NASA observations into beautiful pictures, even though they're really blurry, fuzzy crap to begin with. So if we don't have a success, maybe I should hire an artist to explain what it would have looked like had we obtained the observation, because that's what NASA did. I'm trying to...
Because,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that debate with, what's it, Karen B against that Amy and Tyler guy, where they were talking.
It's still on my tab. I still have the tab open. I haven't watched it.
He was watching it. It's actually brilliant. I am trying to get hold of Whitsitt, though, because there's a few things that he's contradicting his own argument, though, by bringing that up with his ETH argument. But the problem is now, they demolished that Tyler and Amy so bad. But what I'm trying to talk about with that now is the Himawari, where they say, it has a 10-minute delay. Amy is claiming to be such a, how can I put it, qualified graphic designer and stuff, but she's saying with Taylor, there's no technology out there that can render an image in 10 minutes. It's very simple. When you go to look at stuff like Pixar, it has what they call ray tracing. Ray tracing has hectic amount of detail because the light bouncing at different angles to make it realistic, and that's why it takes so long to render. When it gets to the Himawari images, it's simply already taken images that they just had to lay out on the globe, and then you think you don't already have the weather patterns laid out information on the internet. It's already there. You've got an AI bot that's just picking up that weather pattern and just sticking, oh, it's cloudy, stick some clouds overlay it head. It takes literally 2 minutes to do that, not even 5 minutes to render, and voila, in 10 minutes you got your Himawari imaging.
Good point.
So yeah, but I understand totally what you're saying. There's a lot of arguments that come from the flat earth side that actually does more harm than actually any good. So yeah, if you want to talk about the Eric debate number 15, I'm more than happy to talk about it, because it is a misconception of flat earth, which is the topic tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Terrific. Yeah, it's hypothetical to begin with, and it uses too much globe math for us to be interested in. Plus, it's not a proof. So I have 3 problems before it even gets going. We really shouldn't talk about hypothetical stuff when we have so many real things. Then it assumes that we're flying at 1 meter off the ground and that we never change elevation, so we can continue to use our 8 inches per mile squared. So the assumption pretends that we're on the ground. And to read Eric's thing, or out of the top of my head, essentially it says, if uncorrected, an airplane at 500 miles an hour, at the course of an hour, may obtain 31 miles of height, if never corrected. The problem, then that is potentially correct. That's an angle, a straight angle off of a ball.
Do you want me to try and look it up, number 15 on YouTube, and can play it or something?
Sure, it's also Nathan Thompson's number 2. It's generally a proof. And the problem is they extend that statement. What they do is they count backwards and begin to divide that 31 miles times an hour of flight. The errors that begin here are ludicrous, and the mathematics are so simple. Going forward would be easy, and you'd figure it out going forward, but they keep doing the math backwards from 31 miles. They suggest, and the claim by both Eric and my beef here is that if we're all following Eric for 6 years and never checked, I feel that Globebusters has failed us. And I brought it to Bob in the back, and I said, Bob, I went to the people in the street, and the math teacher came back to me and explained the math being wrong on this. And now I'm bringing it back to Flat Earth, and I've been rejected by everyone and censored and thrown out. And that's including Mark, Weiss, Bob, Karen, everyone but Jaron, who said he never said it, and we talk about other things as much as we can. But everyone claims 2777 feet per minute of drop for an airplane in a calculation. Now, there's a lot of silly arguments Brian Leakey wants to argue about if it's trim and if it's angle. It's not the point. The point is there isn't 2,775 feet in any given 1 minute of travel time.
Yeah.
So their mistake in what they all sent me was 500 miles an hour times 500 miles times 8 inches. Well, that's silly. 500 miles an hour is a speed, not a distance.
Yeah.
So the speed over the time of per minute, which they require in their answer per minute, the distance is 8.33 miles per minute, which ends up being 46 feet of drop. So I'm going crazy because I've done laser stuff at 10 miles, and I know that the drop there is 66 feet at 10 miles as an average. So how the hell could there ever be 2,775 feet in 8 miles?
Yeah,
it's impossible. It's not there.
It's like they're trying to make it sound worse than it actually is.
It's their answer is actually per hour. The drop is 2775 per hour. So their mathematics are correct. The answer, remember, it started in miles per hour.
Yeah, they use the wrong
So their answer has to be in miles in per hour. Exactly. But they never switched it. They've blocked me for mentioning it. And we are all, for 6 years, saying something corny and stupid. And then Bob told me he never said it. And why am I asking him to fix it? Then he continues to say it. Weiss says it doesn't matter. And then Weiss continues to say it. Bob had to block me because he's up Karen's ass, and they all are blocking me now for bringing truth to the Flat Earth movement.
But that's one thing I think.
Go ahead.
What does it help to be claiming to be a truther when everybody is having such infighting and blocking each other and just can't be humble and say, listen, yes, I was wrong, accept it and move on. You know what I mean? This is what I'm.
Yeah, ego doesn't belong in the truth. Ego does not belong here.
And there's a lot of, especially in the Flat Earth I've seen lately, there's a lot of ego everywhere.
Yeah, it's atrocious, and eventually now we have to use horrible words like gatekeeping. Those are horrible words for us to use against our friends.
Yeah.
But Bob is comfortable now denouncing me as a flat earther. He's gone from calling me a prominent flat earther to a supposed flat earther. And then he comes into places like yours that are new and friendly and makes sure that I'm blocked. My wrench is gone, and I'm blocked on 3 channels this morning with your stuff today.
On my channel?
So that's what on your channel. That's what I was saying.
So it has to be one of the mods then that blocked you.
Of course it's Bob. Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. And it's horrible. And he's called me names. He told me, I didn't even know who Riley was until Bob told me to go suck his dick. I had to ask Bob's wife, who's Riley? This is how sick Bob is. I had to ask Bob's wife, who is Riley, and to get the story. And that's how I met Anthony. Because Bob was accusing me of sucking his dick.
Yeah,
that's disgusting. That's disgusting behavior when I'm bringing math, and I tried for 2 years to do this behind the scenes and say, here, you'd look really good. By the way, I did get to Eric Dubé on it, and Eric tries to say he should add the word average, but he's in print for 6 years. It's everywhere. He can't fix it. We can. We could look sharp and correct ourselves, and that's what I said, Bob. I said, Bob, you need practice with damage control. We need to be able to correct ourselves, and you can be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, all he really needs to do is just make a video presentation and just say, listen, this was what presented. Unfortunately, this is why it was wrong, and we're sorry, we're human, we make mistakes, and move on. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I got arguments. Weiss is saying it's exponential. The ridiculous arguments and the math that I could show you that they all sent me insisted on a 500-mile destination point, which the vehicle, the destination and the speed don't matter. Our calculations are about distance. And we're normally doing it from a standing point. But once they require a per minute adjustment, the calculation starts over again. So it's really only 8 inches per mile. There is no squared.
Yeah.
And that's what they don't realize. So if they're doing it per minute, it's done at every 8 miles. And everyone's confused by the ability to pick the mileage and play with different math. But they don't realize they have the math correct. It's the per minute that's wrong. It's per hour. 2775 feet per hour, not per minute.
That makes a big difference.
And if we can't, it's a big difference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't correct that and we continue infighting over that, we're useless. I'm scared and alone. That's why Patricia left. That's why Paul on the plane left. That's why everyone's left Flat Earth. That's why there's room for you right now and fresh blood. And that's why you're appreciated and so you're exciting right now because
so.
Real people have had to run away from Bob's behavior. And he's also destroyed FE Core, which finally the site is down. And he's trying to pretend he's just moving it or something. But he's destroyed that from within from day one. And thank God the site's down. And thank God everyone's admitting that FE Core has been more than dead for over 3 years, and that their infighting and their garbage bureaucracy is going to be Bob. It's all about Bob in this case. And I hate to pick on Bob, but Bob has chosen me as an enemy when I tried to do all this private. I tried to fix this Eric Dubé thing private, and it's only math. It's only math. Man, think about how strong I am if it's only math.
Mm-hmm. No, it's actually sad.
And actually, I have a bad habit of getting excited and yelling, so people don't hear me.
Yeah.
Because I'm too busy being excited, and when you're on these panels being blocked and such, you tend to try and be aggressive just to get a word in. So this has been a tough road for me. I've spoke to everyone, and only Jaron has been civil, and Eric was civil. Can you imagine how scared I was DMing Eric Dubé? That was like I've never been so kind of frightened. The guy's going to shut me down somewhere.
Yeah.
And here I am saying, you're fucking wrong. How nicely do I have to say it?
Look,
we've all been cop.
The nice about Eric Dubé though is he's actually a very humble guy. How can I put it? He's very laid back and humble. He's not going to just go and, like I said, but Bob just goes and tries to make you look like a bad guy and just blocks you and stuff. He's at least, and he listens to what you have to say, and then he has a response to it.
So I want to know, do I have a new respect for Eric? Have we villainized Eric to the point of letting the American mainstream ignore him because they don't want to be corrected?
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of things I don't agree with Eric as well. But it doesn't mean I don't appreciate everything he's done for the Flat Earth. Same with Globebusters. A lot of things I do not agree with him, but there's appreciation at least what they brought to the Flat Earth. So I think
not only that, Jaron is a good guy, stuck trying to keep Globebusters a show amongst his disapproval of some of these things as well. And then he's accused of being less than forthright, even by me, because he's stuck sitting next to something because he likes the idea of the show having its longevity and having value. And it's one of the things that it does have value. You coming on all the time and having episodic repeat stuff makes it real for us. It's tangible. Let's see what's happening. Someone, you're talking about what's going on. To find out that you're afraid to talk about something reduces the show's scope. Yeah. It really does.
I would actually like to get, because I'm going to be in about, I think it's next week or the week after, I think it's next week, I'm going to be launching my evening debate debate night once a week. So if you would...
Bob likes you. Bob likes you. You should pit him against me.
That's what I want to say. Maybe we can set up a debate with you and Bob sometime if he does agree to it. Never know, even with someone.
Not a chance. I have too much on him. He will never talk to me.
Yeah.
I have way too much on him.
But yeah.
He deleted all his messages to me, And I had already sent them to everyone. I said,
Wow.
are you stupid? First of all, you're just showing that you deleted them. Second, do you don't think I copied those already? Stupid shit.
Yeah. At least Bob hasn't really been mean to me or anything yet, so I just keep the peace and then go on. That's it. That's why when I went
All right.
on Glowbusters that time, I don't know if you guys realized, whenever I tried to explain something to them, they just said nah, and then they started preaching for like 20 minutes, and I haven't really got my argument out. So then I just said okay and sat there and said thank you for letting me have it on and whatever. And that was just me keeping the peace so I could try and figure out what the ether argument was in the first instance. And
Right.
we still don't really understand what they're trying to say the ether is. Or they're just saying it's just there. This was like with Winston now with his last argument, debate with Karen B against Amy and Taylor. He's going against Taylor saying your gravity, your space is nothing. How can it have physical properties? But that's exactly his argument for the ether. I mean, hello? Isn't that contradictory?
Yeah, interesting. I love it when they speak. I love it when they speak. I really do.
Yeah.
They always put their foot right in their mouth. And at the professional level, did you see the talk I had with Professor Rob Parks, the astronomer who runs an observatory?
No?
I did a 5-hour talk with him.
Wow.
And I don't want to go so far to say as I schooled him, but he allowed me to talk for 5 hours, about his interest was, if he's an astronomer looking in the sky, he doesn't care about NASA because he has his own observations, and he wanted to look at a flat earther and say, hey, I can see things in the sky. What am I seeing? And that was a valid point from an astronomer.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, you can believe what you want about the Earth, but what am I seeing in the sky?
Yeah.
And I was surprised that, no, not surprised. What he knew was narrow. His range of knowledge was narrow, and he discarded the things that he wasn't interested in. And I think that's cool. That's, at least he wasn't claiming anything. I just want to point out the difference between academia and applied science. Learning stuff is great, and they do us with words a lot, and the posturing online, and the charting and the graphing. But when you go to apply it, it's a different person. This person carries a hammer, a screwdriver, and a tape measure, and has to make something like a shim, an adjustment. He has to physically touch things that you can't do with mathematics.
Yeah.
So the math is true, but in the case of language and academia and what's taught in universities, sometimes it's not applicable.
Yeah.
And the idea of teaching theories and insisting that a scientific theory is a fact is a technical blunder in language, I think. A technical blunder. They're convinced that if we just started one argument, it is a theory. They say no, scientific theory is a fact. And that clever throwing in of a word is part of the gaslighting. Is that called gaslighting?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they've done it. They've done a real good job with programming because of television, and saturation. People believe what they're supposed to. So what we have and what you have is these fanboys and these groupies are not only obsessed with us because they want to know how we think. Deep inside, they're jealous that we think. Now, I know that sounds horrific, but imagine being a sheep. It's not your job to know where you're going. You follow sheep's ass. That's what you do.
Yeah, you're just taught to
And
think a certain way, and that's how it is.
And a school of fish as well. If I said to you, hey, let's not follow the school, we become vulnerable as stragglers to predators. And welcome to Flat Earth. We are stragglers, vulnerable to predators because we took the time to look about, and we didn't see the excitement in huddling in a ball.
Yeah.
Like a school of fish.
So
they're convinced from the inside, from the herd, looking out and saying, look at them. They're grazing over there. What do they know? And so we have to ask ourselves, are we okay grazing on our own? No, we're way more vulnerable. So as a survival skill, I'm going to go hug the flock, hoping they get eaten before me by the wolves. So it's funny, we're vulnerable to the wolves, but yet we enjoy our freedom out here.
Yeah, it's like with the sheep to the slaughter, where you got the two paths going to the slaughterhouse, and they're looking at you going the other way, and they're asking, now, why are you going this way? Saying, well, why are you going with the whole crowd that way? Because everybody that's going there is not coming back, and they want to laugh at you and go ridicule you for going the other way. But that's just how logical thinking is. It's going against what consensus is.
Yeah, so we're heroes in their eyes, but they paint it as hatred, but we're really heroic to them. And that's why you saw me do that advert, which I played for Arwen. He was going nuts. Don't sell my image. You choose the worst picture possible. And I said, you don't understand. It's incentive for hate. They love to hate you. Yeah. I figured it would get us some sales. And just the idea of a custom hate shirt is, you don't hate people unless you love them. There's a story of the little girl running across the playground. They say, did she really run all the way across the playground just to tell you that she thinks you're icky? You know, because if they don't like you, they ignore you entirely.
Exactly.
That's the way to punish someone.
It's exactly what I've been telling some of the trolls on my account today. I asked the guy, okay, why are you here? What do you want? He says, no, I'm just here for entertainment. I'm just here. I'm like, okay, if it's a joke, then why are you here? If you think Flat Earth is a joke, you wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be on your agenda to be here and harass a person. It just doesn't make logical sense. It's mental. It's mental to think you can go. I mean, if I don't like, let's say, I'm not a fan of watching someone play chess for 2 hours. I'm not going to go to the chess tournament and watch people play chess for 2 hours because I don't enjoy it. That's just mental. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they do. They come in day after day after day, 24/7. To do what? To
feel better. Yeah, to feel better. It's they feel, honestly, that makes them feel better because they think we're below them. And when they speak, they're taking the stand. And at this point, I accuse the others of grabbing a Kleenex because I do think they're in a circle jerk. And they go, oh, watch, look, he's going to get that flat earther. Well, that flat earther came there to take the heat. So it's not any feat to go up against 10 on 1 and be barraged from all sides on all subjects, to take a breath, and then they go, oh, we got you. It's like, go ahead, clean up, go buy a T-shirt so you can clean up afterwards, because I'm sure they feel so satisfied afterwards, and it's emotional. It's like, ooh, we got those guys. There's an interesting story about the film. Did you see the film on Netflix?
Which one?
Behind the Curve.
Behind the Curve. I watched some of it, yeah.
Mark Sargent talks about at the end how they shut us down because, like a horror movie, when you leave the theater, you want to go back home. And they said that they really didn't want to leave it a flat earth film. Yeah. That it would be more important that they said, oh, everyone can feel better. It's just a movie, and go back home. And that psychologically, that really assisted people to digest any of it. Otherwise, if it was an F you're stupid movie, nobody would have watched it.
But that's why they call it a mockumentary, because they had to alter what was actually shown and stuff to keep the FE narrative looking debunked. I mean, that's why I don't get when the people bring up things like Jaren's curve test, where he had to lift the torch and things out. The people are parroting what they see on Netflix, not actually knowing behind the scenes what actually happened there. It's sad, actually. And then, I mean, if you actually go and look, like the people that actually took their own video footage by being there, showing, listen, yeah, this is what actually happened, where do you get that? You don't get it anymore. It's just vanished from everything because it just doesn't exist.
In that case, they promised him that they would share footage too, and they never did. So he didn't film it himself.
Mm-hmm. And it was actually, if it was me, I mean, if I had to, I'd kick myself, because, I mean, I don't, to be honest, I don't really trust when it comes to the media and stuff. So I would have probably anyway taken my phone out and recorded something, even if they were recording anyway. Especially when
we had a lot to learn. We still, sometimes we're allowed to do that. Sometimes we're not. We can get the audio when they won't let us do camera. It's so important to have your own documentation.
Very, especially today. I mean, I got so much space used up just with comments and stuff that I had to actually screenshot for some odd reason. I've deleted half of them because it just doesn't seem necessary to keep it anymore.
Can I ask a question? How can you and I outline a scenario? Because Bob won't talk to me on your show, and Bob will have to give you a reason. Maybe you don't need me. Maybe, this was supposed to not. They've all challenged me. Make a video. And I tried to handle it behind the scenes to make Bob look heroic, like he's doing something for us. He's cleaning house and doing an Oakley, really just finding out what's crap. And Bob didn't step up to the plate on this. No one did. So now I feel we should go through Eric's stuff. Just go through Eric's stuff one by one. And at that point, why don't we invite Eric around instead of fearing him?
Yeah.
Have we literally copied him for 6 years and then shunned him at the same moment? Is he heroic at all? I mean, is he a hero or just an asshole? It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Very hard to tell.
Well,
but I know now who painted him as an asshole. And I don't trust the Globebusters style of banned for life is the word they use. Weiss uses it a lot. And that's not, there's no probationary period. They force people to come back with sock accounts and have organizations outside of them. And that's awful.
And there's always two sides to a story. So I would definitely, I want to try and get hold of Eric Dubé and see if he would actually come on and talk. You never know. I'm not going to say is.
I think if we had it together, I think Eric would. If we had something to talk about,
yeah.
I'm sure he would.
Because
but we're all trying to catch up.
Yeah, because there's definitely something behind the scenes that's not being shown. So, I mean, if we can get everybody's side of the story, I think it's going to be quite beneficial to everybody.
Yeah, and a big part of the story here is the breakdown of the conferences and the lack of trust in Robbie Davidson, who we really did give an opportunity for a few years to represent everyone. That turned out to be a politeness on our part that was a mistake.
Yeah.
And then eventually that opens up a religious argument, which no one wants to touch.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, I thought the Bible people were on one page. Turns out they're fighting amongst themselves. Then the world thinks the flat earthers are on one page, and it's far from it. So that was very interesting for me to compare Christians who are diverse in so many ways and flat earthers who are diverse in so many ways.
Yeah, because that's
we get lumped together, right?
Yeah, that's also one misconception when it comes to the flat earth. They just think automatically if you believe in the flat earth, you're just a Bible believing Christian or whatever going on, but that's not the truth. I mean, there's so much different beliefs in the flat earth faction. A lot of people just believe that there's a creator. There's some people that believe it's in Buddhism and stuff when it still comes to creation and flat earth. It doesn't matter. But yeah, with me, all I know is when I look at the Bible now, and where before I became a flat earther, I look at it in a total different light, because even the creation story doesn't add up to the heliocentric model, and that's what we were taught in the church. If I have to go and talk to a pastor about it, they would most likely just shun me and kick me out the church. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not what you'd call a everyday Christian of today, what you'd get in society.
It looks like a lot of people are both heading that way and looking to non-define their spiritualism. And we are all looking to run from the word flat earth in the same light. So it would be nice if we could find a religion of logic that we could depend upon. Even though I don't like to use the word religion, I can't take all the spiritualness without and discount mathematics, for instance. It's not all about hope and prayer. So I hope we do get somewhere.
Yeah.
I really do hope that we get somewhere, and Bob needs to go, to put it simply. He will not back up on any of it for anyone. He's created international trouble with FE Core at this point, and with Riley, and with Oakley, and allowed us to have a worldwide division in a place that should be filled with love. Flat Earthers are silly to want to hug and care for each other, and they're unselfish people. So yeah, if you could do anything on that. I don't like being bullied. You know, my wrench is gone on your channel. Like I said, I came back with my other accounts and got blown out on those accounts as well, because Bob thinks that's okay. He doesn't think I'm allowed to have a voice because I'm willing to talk to him. Actually, he would never talk to me. He just bullied me, blocked me, and then talked at me through his channel. He wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah.
So,
and it's sad.
I
mean, it's really sad. I mean, as a grown adult, he does literally say a lot on his shows. He doesn't want people to fight, and if he's wrong, he'll agree when he's correct, and he'll correct himself. But what he's been showing is not what he's preaching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And at the same time, I like Weiss a lot. Weiss is a real hard worker, and he's done great things. But he stole the People Finder from someone, and he has a bait and switch where his application for the phone claims to be $3 until you buy it, and then find it's another $10 to use. And that use for that product, what he calls the Friend Finder, was someone else's Flat Earth People Finder. It belonged to Zoom Truth. David was a beta tester, and he stole it, and he doesn't mind saying he did. So now if I come up with a Flat Earth idea, like for instance I want to do for Smart TV's Flat Earth channel, I got to go to a lawyer first because Weiss is going to steal it. Right? Weiss is going to steal something openly and says so because he says he could do it better. Well, so I'm lumping him in with this upper end of crap. And the upper end of crap otherwise is Mark Sargent, who I adore, but he stays on the fence about everything. And he has little private shows, conversations before and after where he talks for real. But on his show, they don't talk about real issues. So when something like Robbie Davidson disappears, no one talks about why. What happened? What's wrong with Robbie? What's wrong? So we never get to correct anything. Fortunately, we're 6 years later, we're going to have a new wave of people like yourself who attracts a younger audience. It isn't stale. They're not drunken and burned out.
Yeah.
Because many of us original people from the original point of 15, 16, 17 burned out. And my mistake is I joined with a fervor like a born-again Christian. I think I'm on a mission. That's stupid too. So I burned myself out going, ooh, Flat Earth, ooh,
yeah, but
ooh,
you see,
Flat Earth, look, Flat Earth.
That was the problem I had as well. I mean, also actually started out in that time. I was actually on Facebook before, but so it was about 2015, 2016 when I actually got into Flat Earth. But I was on Facebook before I started on the YouTube journey. It got kind of not nice, and I decided to leave the Facebook thing. That's why I was researching the ether and things in that day. It was because of Glowbusters and Eric Dubay and that. Because when you get into the FE argument fresh, you could say, you don't really understand what's going on. You're trying everything to catch on what is really going on, because now you've come to the realization, okay, what you've been told isn't wrong, but what is it? And that's the problem with most of the new fresh flat earthers. They just take, okay, this is a big channel, this is big, I have to just take everything they say as it is, because they were taught to be, just like when they were taught with the globe, they were indoctrinated to believe what has been taught. So now as soon as they moved over to the flat earth, they get first usually to Glowbusters or Eric Dubay or whatever, and then they just take everything as fact. They don't actually go and do the research themselves to see, listen here, yes, this is right, but this isn't right, type of thing. With me, I actually went after a few years and realized, this okay, I was believing this, but after doing my own research, that's why I came with the ether at the end of the day and said, I got to a dead end, it doesn't work.
Flat out.
Yes, Mike.
Flat out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off, man. I'll catch you later.
Okay, thanks for joining, dude. Really enjoy the rest of your evening.
Nice listening to you, Dan. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Mike. Appreciate your support, dude. So yeah. Bye. But like I was saying, so yeah, the fresh FE get into it, just like you're saying, they don't really have that logical thought pattern developed yet. They just got into it. They know something's not right, but they're going to whatever they can get, they're going to receive as fact. And I think it's very rare that a lot of the people in that first year or 2 years in Flat Earth is actually, listen here, let me think what I'm getting from the Flat Earth, is it actually what it is? So you never know. That's why you get so much of these Flat Earthers today that are just, how can I put it, hippie pot smoking Flat Earthers that are all hyper spiritual and things with astral projection and stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Because
I relate to them and don't relate to the religiotards. So it's funny, we have the conspiratards, the religiotards. There isn't a large contingent of logic. It's mostly emotion and faith.
Yeah.
And I think we need more logic.
Look, at the end of the day, it still comes down to a person's own belief and opinion. And that's why I say I respect still everybody that believes in the ether. It's just not for me because I've got to a dead end to it. So yeah, until it can get proven to me, otherwise I would take it.
So Ruhiv tried to set me straight, but I think I placed some logic in front of him.
Big logic.
And
do you want to try and explain to everybody what the argument was, maybe? Because I think a lot of them don't actually know the argument. I did stick your link in the chat. I'm going to stick it in the chat again for everybody. But yeah,
the argument was simple in the respect that I have to honor the mathematics of the globe to go forward with any reference point. So I use their numbers, and of course, there's at some point what we call a vanishing point, whether it be due to size, obstruction, or distance. But there's this point where we no longer see a small craft. And forgive me for using miles, but it's going to happen between 5 and 10 miles, depending on your observation point and the height. And all of a sudden I thought to myself, well, they're saying that's a matter of fact. And when I see something beyond that, they're claiming all sorts of looming refraction. I said, okay, I don't care. But I'm accepting their concepts in so many ways. But in this case, I'm using the globe math on them, and I turned it around. And where I said the boat is going over the edge, I got Ruhiv to agree that point that we call beyond sight is a reduced angle where you can't see over the ball, and that the sunset and the boat's disappearance were the same point. Absolutely the same point. Bring the sun all the way down, and suddenly the sun's distance, size, and brightness doesn't matter. It's the point of which we last see it. And does that compare to the boat? The boat demands the sunset to be within 10 miles. He called it 20, which gave us all room to talk, which was very interesting because we didn't argue about 10 miles. He went to 20 and it gave him some play. But in general, we were talking about islands 100 miles away, or cities 50 miles away, where you could see the sun clearly was being blocked by the silhouette of these objects, placing the sun behind them. And when we think of mathematically where a sunset should be, it's literally frighteningly close, and we've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. I mean, when you take their angles into account, it just debunks itself. It's such a simple argument. That's why he probably couldn't actually understand what you were trying to explain, because he's thinking.
Yeah, everyone's stuck trying to understand what I'm saying, and I'm just going.
And it's so simple. I mean, if here's your horizon, it cannot be further than that. There's your horizon. Why do you have things that's blocked behind it still? If that's where your horizon, your sun is supposed to be blocked already. They're not further away.
Then his argument in his speaking tone, a non-argumentative tone, was, well, because it's 93 million miles away. So I don't give a shit. It's blocked by the local Earth. I don't give a shit how far away it is.
An angle
It's
is the
about
angle, no
angles.
matter the distance. I mean, if it sits at a 0 degree angle, it's a 0 degree angle, straight along that horizontal. It doesn't mean the distance is going to change that it's a 0 degree angle.
So they will find a way out of this. So far, they're using looming, the term looming, and the suggestion is that it's brought itself all the way up in the distance for my vision, just for some reason,
Yeah.
and brought it to level. It didn't. It's not slightly higher. It's not tilted to the left. It's not inverted. It's just been lifted up for me conveniently. So that does question, as we follow the sun from the top of noon down, when did it suddenly decide to take this looming position? Because we can watch it from noon to go set, and it doesn't seem to really have to go through any of these vast changes that we'd have in atmospheric refraction.
Yeah. Look, they have to bend the rules a bit. That's why when you ask them, okay, what type of refraction it is, that's why they can't decide if they're using Snell's law or just terrestrial refraction, because they know whatever they turn to, they have to have a set geometric radius, and they don't have a set geometric radius.
Let's have fun. Let's invent a formula for special refraction, like Einstein when he corrected relativity. He had special relativity. So maybe we should have special refraction, which carries magical properties that aren't necessarily measurable.
Mm-hmm. That's why they have to go.
Affected by gravity, of course, affected by gravity.
Yeah, they have to always have to go to some kind of mathematical construct that is not observable in reality. But because it works out in the equations, therefore it must be fact. I mean, really?
Yeah, well, I really appreciate your comment and your interest in having me on, because this is a little bit worth pushing around right now, because everyone can do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have east views of a sunrise and west views of a sunset with obstructions over 10 miles. Real easy.
Yeah.
Just, that'd be thousands of photographs. Thousands of photographs under hundreds of different conditions, over water, over land, over ice. That's the other thing. We only need 10 or 20 miles. I don't need to go hundreds and hundreds of miles, which is what Flat Earth has been doing. We see further. I can do lasers further. It doesn't matter. It's out of sight at 10 miles.
Mm-hmm.
You can play with closer distances.
As far as as long as you set that bar of the horizon, it's set. It doesn't matter the distance after that. If you can prove they say that's their set, whatever's behind it debunks what they've had already. That's why it's also.
Then I start the other experiment. Saying, now travel across that horizon 10 miles and let's light that up. And we'll use time lapse to get all the different data sets and then pixel strength to show there's no curvature left to right, because we have the pixel strength. Mm-hmm. We have the ability to see that horizon in a 10-mile width shot. So all we have to do is light up that with maybe like a neon bulb and make a sharp blue line across it as we travel. And it being out of sight due to refraction to begin with still has to show it turns out to be as much as 16 feet in the middle of a 10-mile run, left and right.
Yeah. So
if I stand in the middle 10 miles away and watch over 60 degrees travel across my horizon, let's say a boat with a light, it's the simplicity of such, it has to show a hump in the middle, absolutely a drop on both sides, and the difference is 16 feet, call it 12 with some minor adjustments there, but we have the pixel strength, and that's what's exciting, is we have the pixel strength to do this, and it doesn't take too much special equipment. I'm going to bring a theodolite this time, infrared at the same time, and ship-to-ship radar, ground radar. Trust me, if we start this and can't see something 10 miles away with radar, it's not flat.
Yeah.
I could just, any one of these is going to shoot us down or prove it. But refraction's out. Their little story is done.
Yeah.
The fact that I can see something 10 miles away, they're admitting I can see it. They're just saying it's refracting. I said, okay, now drag it left and right. show me the curvature of the Earth. So what I'm doing is drawing a line on the Earth and analyzing it with high tech.
Yeah. No, 100% agree. I mean, why do you have to push the limits? We got the technology that can see it at 10 miles, so if it happens at 10 miles and we get what we see, perfect. You don't need to go further than that. Don't need
And
to
Bob's up my
overcomplicate
ass
something.
jealous because I have a team to work with on this stuff and he doesn't. That's what's going on.
Well,
That's what's going on.
so when you maybe planning to doing this thing?
If we get it done without too much trouble in dry runs, it's generally for us winter.
Awesome. It's right around the corner.
The guarantee is winter after a rain. After rain, there isn't humidity in the air,
settles nice, yeah.
and it's super clear. So a morning after rainfall in the winter would be optimal.
That would be awesome.
And we will have to rent some good camera stuff. So depending on who's excited to come with, that will determine when.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to want to watch that. Are you going to do a live stream or are you just going to document it though?
Yeah, well, we work under often the name of Flat Reality Earth Explorers, called the Free Group, which you know as a Salton Sea Group.
Okay, yeah.
And we've gone through several changes as to who's available at the time, but we use that name a lot. And then that project got pushed into the name Flatlanders for the past 3 years for Shelley Lewis's documentary series. So we applied our stuff towards that. So that's another name it's buried as.
Okay.
And to be honest, I'm trying to work with Jaron because I like him, and he's had a lot of bad luck with field stuff. And so I'm trying to get him on the phone, but he says to me, I'm going to read it to you. He says to me yesterday, these are my friends. This is who I get along with, right? Not the people fighting me. Jaron says to me, quote, maybe you can stop including me in, quote, all you fuckers. He says, I answer for me, dude. I'm nobody's babysitter. Stop crying, he says to me, because I'm blocked on his channel. And he always said, I can only control what I do on my channel, and what I say. I can't control everyone else. And then he lets his mods block me on his channel. It's like, dude.
Yeah. Well, I remember when he was on FED still and stuff. He was actually very nice and kind to me and stuff. So when he just left, it was news to me. And it was just, I still don't really know what happened. But yeah.
What happened when?
When he was just left FED's kind of crowd. Because he was with us and all in the FED crowd, and then all of a sudden he just left. So I still don't really know what happened there. But yeah, I think it still came down at the end of the day, the Bob versus Nathan kind of thing. I don't know. Hey Nathan, good to see you.
Oakley's in chat. Oakley, come around.
Yeah, Nathan,
Does
it'd be
Oakley
great
come
to
around
chat
here?
if you can chat, dude. It's Dan the Waterman. It'd be great to have
Let's
Nathan.
see.
Oh, but Nathan doesn't have Discord anymore though.
So he's who's he? What's up with QE? Right, that's QE that Nathan was sitting next to.
Yeah, Nathan.
I thought we all decided QE was just QE, not having a lot of value.
No, Nathan Oakley runs the Flat Earth debate channels. Very good. I really do enjoy his content. So guys, do subscribe if you haven't already. QE is Quantum Eraser. He's John. I don't know. He's usually the guy that does like the science of stuff and ball busters.
But he's the guy with no face that yells a lot.
Yeah, he yells a lot. QE likes to yell.
Yeah. How many shows, Nathan? How many shows in a row? Like Nathan is the king of that, right?
Yeah, I think
we were trying to do ponchos. We got up to, I think, I don't know, 600 some days in a row, something like that.
Yeah, Nathan's sitting on. Oh wow.
Congratulations to that, and that's really unfortunately why Jaron hangs out still, because the idea of Globebusters being a long-running show is nice. It's nice to have a long-running show.
Yeah, definitely.
It helps the community a great deal.
Nathan Oakley, he's got 4,268 videos on his channel. he's got quite a lot of shows. I think the last one was 1,733. That was the last show, live show.
Nathan, did you see I offered you up in T-shirts for the haters who really are our groupies. They're not haters at all, but I suggested they could get your face and any slogan they want on a T-shirt, and I made a little advert for that.
Yeah, there was quite. Masa, maybe bring up your advert. I think I've got.
Yeah, I'm willing to call it like it is. They love being exposed to us because they learn how we think.
Yeah.
They don't know how to think. It's not a sheep's job to think. It's not in the job requirement. It's not for regular people.
Yeah.
Thinking isn't for normal people. That's why we call them normies. They're not thinkers, they're followers, and they do their job. We teach them stuff, they get their degree, and they do their job.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the defensive nature is what we run into is people's natural defenses. And people are spastic in their defense, you know, desperate. And just to say this, especially because Oakley's around, we can't fucking change people's minds. People are fucking stuck in their mind, in their comfort zone. But what we can do is attract them to exit and come towards me. There's an image on the screen on YouTube now, me in a lab coat. The fucking lab coat draws people to you to ask you questions. They're compelled to think you have answers. And the idea of them coming to me changes my world. Changes my world. Because they're allowing me to speak. They came to me with questions. It's fucking over with. They lose already. I get to speak. It's like I'm not me going, oh, would you like a flyer? Would you like to hear me say something? No, if they come to you, we're done. We did our job. You give Nathan 15 minutes, you give me 15 minutes, and they're going to go, well, those guys are, you know, exuberant and boisterous, but they did make some points, is what they're going to say about anyone loudmouth flat earther who was busy yelling points. But when we stop yelling, when we don't get challenged, we have some validity. And I hope Nathan looks at the thing that on my channel there. This is a joke that you're about to play, but the other one on the channel about the sunrise and the sunset is far from it. Everyone enjoy this. I think we're going to push that Jose Gonzalez can make money selling this. So I'm linking to him right now. If anyone's to make money on this, it's going to be the ballers.
I'm going to play it quickly, okay?
Oh, yeah, please do. This is good.
You know that as part of the
Just
new
quick little
Glover
idea I got.
Obsessed with Flat Earth or Groupie series, we're going to be having T-shirts. Of course, there's the hatred logos, and we're going to put any flat earther you want on a T-shirt. Here I am with a globe. I'm sure you get a kick out of that. It's not the only thing you can get, though. For small price, we can immortalize Jibby Jedi. Yeah, who can forget Jibby Jedi? The flat earther, the voice of flat earth. Rest in peace, Jibby. Rest in peace. And who else? Oh, don't forget Mark Sargent. You get that Mark Sargent right on a T-shirt, mug, anything you want. You can have your very own Mark Sargent, because we know you fanboys are obsessed with flat earthers. I just want to supply product for the first time. Of course, Oakley, who can forget Oakley? You can just hear his voice grinding into you, can't you? But can you live without it on a T-shirt, huh? All right, fanboys, this is your chance to be groupies. The flat earth groupies can get the T-shirt. Don't forget your Pete Shea. And as part of the introductory offer, every order comes with a free Arwen product. Yes, any T-shirt that you buy with Flat Earther on them comes with your choice of Arwen mug, Arwen shirt, Arwen hat, or just a phone call with Arwen. I appreciate your love, everyone. I know you're obsessed with Flat Earth and these characters, so step right up. Jose Gonzalez. Through him, you can buy any of these products, and I'm happy to bring it. Oh, everyone, you'll be happy.
Brilliant.
Now, the funny thing is that Jose has not called me or said anything about don't do this. So I pushed Jose in this position that if people want it, he's got no gig. He's got no way to make money. I might as well put him in business, because if he started this, he'd look silly. But since I started it, he might run with it. We can actually, I hate flat earther, products.
Nathan Oakley asked, how much to not what? How much to not get that one with the free Arwen?
So Arwen went live two days ago, I think it was 2 mornings ago, and I said, "Hey, did you see my new business opportunity?" And he was distracted by me, and then it was what I don't know, didn't know. And I put the link, and he didn't hear it because he didn't want to broadcast that. And he was looking at it, and he knew it had merchandise, and he saw his face come up, and he went ballistic. He goes, "How could you do that?" And I had to convince him that it was because he was endeared, and that it pushed on their hatred button and got them excited. And their love and hate button is the same thing. They are our biggest advantage now is what they laugh at. They laugh because we're different, but given the posture to not laugh, for instance, if their friends aren't listening, they do really get a chance to hopefully not become a flat earther, but to question their world and to make sure that they're not being pushed about by anyone, any form of oppression, because this is fairly oppressive, and our society is damaged from this. We're really damaged from the constant gaslighting of who we are, where we came from, what our history is, and the lack of agenda towards.
Yeah.
I often don't. I got in this small conversation with Austin Whitsitt about the Brits. I said, I think we should just let them be and do our stuff here. And he corrected me and felt that a global audience was much better. But we do think different culturally, you and I. And it sometimes comes up, and it's funny. I notice it more when the Aussie shift comes in, because they're a third shift for me. And it changes attitude, and they're roughly in between Americans and Brits.
Yeah.
In their attitude. So it's very interesting to watch it on the world scale over 24 hours. If you're online too long, you see the tide change from Western to European to Australian time.
Yeah, that's why also when I try and do live streams and stuff, I try and have different time so I can have some of the people on that side. Like most of the times people in Australia are sleeping or whatever on that side of Australia and whatever. So I'm trying to do different times to accommodate most of the people around the plane as I can, because it really does help. But yeah, that's awesome. Merchant, I don't know if you saw, I actually commented to say I'm angry with you. You didn't put my face on there.
I know. And Merle, I didn't put Merle, and I didn't do Dan Pratt here.
Oh, man.
And I really have to include Patricia Steer still. So there's a lot of people. I need to really work on that and choose some good slogans. I've been working on some slogans, one of which is "Stop Resisting." I really like the idea of yelling, "Stop resisting." In the United States, we have this thing when it's called a felony stop, when they have the police swarm on one man when it's time to take him into custody, and they often bounce about on each other trying to gain hold of this writhing body he has one head, one stepping on his neck, one stepping on his foot, two pulling on both arms, and the fifth man walks up and he either kicks him or says, "Stop resisting." And you can't do a thing when everyone's tugging on you like this. So the idea of "stop resisting" is a funny thing for us to yell, because it suggests that they're already caught, they're already writhing around, and we're just subduing them now. So I like saying "stop resisting," and then I like, as part of the felony stop, they say things like "interlace your hands behind your back." So I've sort of included "interlace your thoughts," where I wrote it down. Interlace your thoughts and walk backwards towards the sound of my voice is part of the felony stop as well. So stop resisting, turn around, put your thoughts behind you, and walk backwards towards the sound of my voice. So that's my cry now.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
It's like, put your hands
Stop.
up. No, put your hands down. Oh, wait, no, stand up.
There is no up and down. So yeah, the comedy and the props, the lab coat and such, and phraseology, what we know as memes, it's still what gets people's attention till they stop and talk. So it doesn't bother me being hassled. It's really an honor when they really come to us, especially these crazy 60, 70 men that have been following us about online. They're in love. That's why I made that funny commercial, the advert for the t-shirts. They're in love. They go, wow, I got to find out what they're thinking next. Because we've had to be creative in our thought. We had to be imaginative. We don't have 500 years of resources and libraries available to us. And we've had to use logic. And logic is different than academia. It's way different. What you learn isn't there. And last, and I'm so glad Oakley's around, what they don't understand about us is that we understand information to the point where we understand that there's three kinds of information. There's information, which is what they learned. There's disinformation, which is the lies. And there's misinformation, which is what's missing. And we naturally are interested in what's missing because we understand disinformation. So we know what we're given. We know what we're being given that isn't true. And we mathematically decipher what's missing from that. And they don't see that. And I see them as having a missing data set when it comes to information because they stick with info. They ignore disinfo. Therefore, they don't know about missing or misinfo. Where we read between the lines naturally, they think we just make shit up.
Yeah,
and it's a missing data set that we see because we're used to reading between the lines and they're used to the press release.
Yeah.
They're used to the press release.
That's why when they say...
So it's very interesting.
That's why when they say...
Once you analyze information and know the three kinds, you see where we operate. We operate in the void, looking to fill it. They don't see a void. They got the press release.
Mm-hmm. That's why when they say you making shit up and you actually get citation to suit what you're talking about, then they just start ad homing because that's all they have at the end.
Yeah. Poor Ruhif came around and he, because we've casually spoken, he felt it was casual. When you called it epic, I mean, I've never, if somebody said, have you ever switched someone? I'd have said probably not. But I did get, you used the word epic. I got strange emails, and two people in the conversation said they were switched, and I think they already thought they were flat. I think they were flat already, and they felt that they got off the fence, and that's really what I'm worried about is people being on the fence are a pain in the ass. And I've got a problem with Mark Sargent, who's got stuck with a leadership role he didn't want, but he stays on the fence about everything and we go nowhere in the States. And when I finally did get to Riley and asked him what's up, do you hang out with Oakley? Do you guys hang out? Does anyone hang out? And he's like, no. And so it matched here because everyone's on their own. We've been reduced to our own research and our own range. For instance, there's 29 people watching you now, by later on 100, and that's your range, So it's interesting. We have to work within our range, and that's sad because it's a stronger movement than that. Somehow we got to get rid of the word flat earth because we're better than that, and we're different than that. And I'd like to read something to you that I do for strangers regarding that. Like what is a flat earther? I started putting it on Facebook, and it's just a paragraph if you'd allow me.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I go, many people are not aware that the flat earth movement and our obsession with understanding our home is not about the geography and topography of Earth. The term flat earth itself is a catchphrase for knowing we're not on a spinning globe. It's not a belief, which would be faith-based and not scientific at all. Flat earthers do not claim to know any more than the fact we are recovering heliocentrists. None of us have explored the outer regions of this realm, much less proven its physical reality. The flat earth is about being alert and having a sense of self amongst a sea of followers in a corrupt society with a culture of money and war. Sadly, FE has no community, no school, no church, no center, no curriculum, no leaders, and no political affiliations. I do not know any flat earthers that follow the Flat Earth Society. We know that real science is observable, measurable, and repeatable. And it's not easy being different.
Amen.
And I said, note, it's not a belief, it's not faith-based, and then it's not the Flat Earth Society, who's cover-up shill. We know, we know the difference. And that's what's sorry now. We can't just yell research flat Earth. A few years ago, it was really easy. Just yell flat Earth, leave it to them. We don't have that choice. So the characters that we have as flat Earth do need to attract people by their retarded behavior that we have.
That's actually a good word. Yeah, definitely. I would also say retarded word.
We don't fit their mold. And Oakley. Hi, Nathan.
Real men cuddle, Oakley.
I'd love to see Nathan in a real conversation where he's not chewing someone to pieces.
Hey, he's actually a very, very pleasant guy just to have a normal conversation with, by the way, guys. Literally. Very, very nice guy. Obviously, for his show, he has to cut the globers down at their ankles. Like I said, it's because of... I would do the same after years and years of getting the same harassment from these globers, nonsensical circle jerk arguments. It's become his
job, and he does it well. He does it well.
Exactly.
It's become
he's a master,
and that's what we value.
He's a master of the trade, definitely. And that's why he's being so successful with his arguments. They can't get anywhere because he catches them while they're still in mid-sentence, knowing what they're actually trying to present, and he cuts it down. They don't like it, obviously, but that's what makes him good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and last but not least, Flat Earth has not been good for me. Like right now, I need to go to work. It's 1 p.m. and I'm literally in morning mode still, instead of knowing where I should be and where I should be going. And so I did start something called Flat Earth Anonymous, which I think reflects my feelings towards Flat Earth right now. It's been real hard on me, and I'd like to make it an actual 12-step program that includes Flat Anon for the families and people. And I think our role now is to make sure that people aren't called crazy and institutionalized for being able to think, because that's what's happening. If we continue to go against the grain, we will be institutionalized or separated out of the herd,
Yeah.
Certainly. So that is something that we have to be careful of. And I'm hoping that by being the controlled opposition of Flat Earth Anonymous, the boss could say, you got a problem, and could say, well, I'm going to meetings, which are actually now for us fun, meetups, where you get to be with other Flat Earthers. But as far as people concerned, they're thinking that we're going because we have a problem. Well, it turns out it's one and the same. It's been a problem for me spending too much time on it. It has. And I'm happy to get these two observations going in the future between documenting the sun more and the lateral force observation that I've been talking about to kill refraction.
Yeah.
And if I don't kill refraction, I'm going to kill flat Earth. Just to put it honestly.
Yeah, well, that's what it is at the end of the day. You are proving it to yourself. I mean, obviously you've already proved it, but now you're just going that one step further to reiterate what you're proving. So I'm definitely looking forward to that observation.
Yeah, the lateral line one we did in February 2020, it's going to come out on the Flatlanders stuff. But it wasn't from the greatest observation, and there was only the time-lapse camera and a drone camera. So we're missing theodolite, we're missing and we were really not at the center point of the observation. But we did prove that we could do it, and I realized I could do it over water. I don't really need to go to the salt flats. Yeah. So I'm hoping I'm not missing any complication about doing it over water.
Now, I think it's going to be quite an interesting thing if you would be able to actually do it on the salt flats and the water to test it out to see the difference. That'd be quite cool.
Yeah, so we already did the first, so this is the follow-up. I just want to do it with more equipment. And if I start and can't use ship-to-ship radar 10 miles away, I have to question the flat Earth.
Yeah.
Because it sure as shit should work. This stuff goes up to 80 miles easily.
Yeah, I mean, radar is simply just going and bouncing back with the incidence angle. Simple as that.
So I'm looking to kill refraction. I want that name done. Just the word. I'm gonna name a boat the SS Refraction. Take it out to the sunset point
It's
and
like,
show.
so in other words, what's your most hated word? Refraction.
Yep. Well, thanks for your time. I'm going to go to work.
Yeah.
It was nice having Oakley out there. I befriended him on, we're going to need each other. And just the UK does operate a little differently. And I don't know if I belong in your audience all the time,
You belong anywhere, dude. Like I said, I'm more than happy to have you on again. I really did enjoy it. I did have a nice conversation. This is what I enjoy, where people can just be open-minded and just talk. This is why I like the show. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate a lot. And this thing about, free speech is wild. If you could get me my wrench back and
Yeah, definitely.
get Bob to back the truck up, maybe he doesn't have to be exposed so often because I openly do it now.
Yeah. Like I said, I definitely did enjoy it. I'm definitely going to give you a wrench. I don't know why your wrench is gone in the first instance and why you were banned. I didn't do it, so yeah.
It's about math. It's about miles per hour versus feet per minute or feet per hour. That's what it's about.
Yeah. But hopefully we can chat again sometime. Really great. Yeah, and guys, do please go to Nathan Oakley's latest video. I think it's premiering now. Please do go over there because I am ending stream now anyway. I'm gonna go spend some time with my wife before we go to sleep. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, I
Dan.
promise you in the catalog of merchandise we'll include you shortly.
Yeah, awesome, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan. Enjoy the rest of your day. So thanks everybody. Thank you for coming. Really do appreciate it. Again, go to Nathan Oakley's premiere. It's premiering now. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you everybody that did send super chats. Thank you for everybody that's become a Patreon. You guys rock. Without your support, this wouldn't be a channel. So thank you very much. Till next time.